So we've got our base here with the, losing my head again, never mind. We've got our base here with a little cutout nibbled away from it, and this corner. The side's going to go in there, and it will fit this time. We've got a little end piece here. This is basically just the side that's split in two. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little infill piece here, and I'm actually going to make it out of 18mm 3/4 inch, simply because I can screw through the back, through the side here into that, but I want no visible fixings on this side, so I'll do that with dominoes, which is what I'll do next.
I'm using an 18mm offcut to centre the infill piece against the carcass side. Then marking the positions for the domino mortises, and cutting them in the usual way. Given my recent measuring embarrassment, I decided to dry fit this piece, and thankfully it all goes to plan. With those components put to one side, we can get onto the drill press and tackle the last boring job, cutting the doors for the concealed hinges, and this is completed quickly and easily, albeit messily. It's a good idea to mark which door is which, and inside the hinge recess is the ideal place.
So with everything cut, all the machining is done, the doors are bored for hinges, the shelves are all lipped and sanded and all wonderful. You kind of know what's coming next, don't you? Yeah, it's time to paint. Now, I'm not going to talk in too much detail about painting in this video, because I'm actually going to do a painting and finishing video, which I'm going to do at the same sort of time as this, while I've got an awful lot of painted stuff going through the workshop. The painting finishing in this video is just going to be pretty quick, sort of fast-forwarded, time-lapsey type stuff, because you don't really need to see that because it's not that interesting. But for the painting and finishing video, which will be out shortly, or perhaps it's already been out, I'll go into a lot more detail about this, and these little bits and pieces will be referred to in that video at some point, because there's a few things you need to know about painting large panels, but I'll talk about that then in that video. But for now, let's crack on with these guys.
Starting with a primer undercoat on a foam roller, we can rattle through the various components at a decent pace. The larger shelves have a slight raised edge where the lipping overhangs, so I use a brush to get right into that edge, finishing off with a roller before tipping it onto one edge to cover the top side. And of course, we mustn't forget the cabinet backs. With everything dry, it all gets a quick rub over, paying particular attention to the cut edges. These are sanded back quite aggressively before getting a second coat of primer undercoat. Once that's dry, we can start on our top coat, a water-based acrylic eggshell in this case, applying it as evenly as possible with a foam roller.
One of the things you've got to do excuse me, when you're doing the inside of a door, as well as getting a good even coat of paint on the door itself, you've got to watch out for the hinge caps. What you don't want to do is this kind of thing, because then you get an impression of the door, of the hinge bore in the roller, and you've got to be quite vigilant about getting rid of that. You've also got a little bit of paint around in there now, which will make life a little bit tricky later. What I tend to do, get a reasonably full load on your roller, and then just take the pressure off as you go over it, and then bring it back on, off and on again, off and on again, and then you can just make sure it gets painted, but without picking that sort of circular impression.